Let's play a picture game. That sounds fun, doesn't it? Now let's say you are driving through Nebraska, and since Nebraska sucks so bad, you are trying to get through it as fast as humanly possible. So let's say you're going about 25 miles per hour over the speed limit. Is it A, a 1988 Oldsmobile? Is it B, a state-issued police car? Or is it C, an armored tank? If you guess C, you are correct. Woo! You win nothing, and if you are from Nebraska, you are probably fucking terrified. This is no shit. Look at this thing. Somehow the Nebraska State Troopers were issued these things. Not one, not even two, but 3 armored tanks at their disposal. Apparently they were issued as gifts or something by the National Guard in Nebraska, and they're supposed to be used in the case of some traumatic event. A tornado or a nuke or a hurricane or something somehow in the middle of Nebraska. Look, I don't know the last time that Nebraska was affected by a hurricane, but it must happen often if this kind of thing is necessary. I don't want to put my tinfoil hat on here, but conspiracy theorists are gonna have a field day with this shit. Why else would Nebraska need 3 of these things unless they were somehow the playing field for the rest of the country? If this sets a precedent and somehow we just have armored tanks patrolling the streets everywhere, isn't that a little fucking terrifying to you? Who is this war on? Is there a war against us as people? You might be asking that. If there are tanks patrolling our streets, who are they fighting against besides us? There are 12 people in Nebraska that have been trained to drive these things. They say right now that they're not being used for typical traffic stops, but the key word there is right now. How long before they implement the tanks on highway patrol? How scary would it be if you were driving down the fucking road and let's say you have a joint in your mouth and you're cruising down the road and you have a taillight out and you get pulled over by a goddamn tank. You could literally run from it and somehow get in a boat and drive off in a boat that you stole, and this tank could still follow you because it's amphibious. A sergeant went on record as saying they're a little bit different than your average patrol car. No fucking shit! There is a huge disparity between a patrol car, no matter how nice it is, and an armored tank. And this right here is why we need to end this failed, stupid drug war. Because it allows things like this to happen now. Not only are our prisons overcrowded, not only are people going to prison for non-violent offenses, not only do we have the most prisoners in jail in the entire world, but now somehow it's just cool for tanks to follow you around. It's cool for Nebraska to have 3 armored tanks. Where do you think they're funding this from? Where do you think they're getting the money to buy these things? It's by convicting and imprisoning innocent people. That's what they are. Let's be realistic here. They didn't fucking hurt anybody. Most of these people just like to get fucked up, and they go to prison for it. And now we got tanks on the streets. So end the fucking drug war and get really upset that Nebraska has 3 armored tanks, because this is not going to set a very good precedent for the rest of the country if nobody cares. I mean, it's probably not going to matter either way. You could get outraged about it and it's not going to matter because they're going to do whatever the fuck they want anyway. Just the fact that pot is still illegal in most places is enough to prove that our government is completely incompetent. But fuck it, we're drowning in debt, we're imprisoning innocent people, but you know, who gives a fuck, because we have this bloated military, and we have such a bloated military that we can afford to put tankers on our streets to patrol the citizens. Don't let them fucking lie to you. This isn't about tornadoes or floods, it's to fucking scare you, and it's working, hopefully, because it's scaring the shit out of me. Have a good one.